of all, I want to really thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedules. I know you could be doing a lot of other things like watching some new exciting reality show or Empire or, you know, all those good things. But you're here to expand your business, to network with people that have priceless resources that can hopefully get to your next level. So tonight, I just want to really thank our panelists. We're really blessed to have them tonight. We have Ms. Marnie Batista. She is a love expert. She's the CEO of Dating with Dignity. She's been in this business for 6 years. She has a 7-figure business. She has over 3.5 million viewers on YouTube channel. And she has about over 25,000 people in her community. So she's a powerful young lady. And she empowers women who keep making the same mistake of dating the same wrong person over and over again. Okay? And next we have Ms. Christy Miller. She is a financial. Everything I'm going to say about Christy is going to be former, but she's going to tell you who she is today. But she's a former analyst for CNN, is that correct? Or financial analyst, I'm sorry. She was a corporate attorney. She became the LA County Deputy Sheriff at the age of 45. And she'll share a little bit about that. And she is, what would you call yourself today?
I am the CEO and founder of Eat, Train, Win, and I am a healthy living architect.
Yes. Okay. So now you have to have perfect health if you're going to do something in your business to gain that wealth, right? So, all right. And next we have Mr. Reggie Messina. And Reggie is a speaker. He's an expert. He helps you with challenges, people that are on the verge of committing suicide, going through bad divorces, military emotional issues. And so Reggie is also with the D. Martini Institute. Out of 3,000 speakers worldwide, he actually holds a wonderful seat there with the D. Martini Institute. And they had a big event here last weekend.
Yeah, this is last weekend.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask them a few brief questions. We ask you guys to keep it to like 2 to 3 minutes, that we can get all the information in, and then we'll have time for questions and answers. So basically, we just want you to tell us, first question, tell us a little bit about your background, your company, and what you do.
All right. So my name is Marnie Batista, and my company is called Dating Dignity, which is not an oxymoron. You can actually date with dignity. And I founded my company about 6 years ago. I love that you all are here because 6 years ago I was a nursery school teacher making $24,000 a year barely. And I got fired from my job, and I always wanted to write a book, and a very wise mentor said a book is not a business, build a platform. And so I did, and I had my lightning bolt moment of this is what I meant to do based on my own journey of dating the same guy and marrying people who, which I've now successfully figured out, I have a lovely husband. And so I turned it into a business, and love that not only do I get to provide for my family and be a responsible, financially secure adult, but that I get to really help change the world by bringing more love into it one person at a time.
Great. Same questions.
I am Christy Miller, and Bill just stepped out of the room, or I would thank him for changing my life. I met Bill in June, and my life has been completely changed since meeting you. You guys are in here with great company. Like you said before, I was a financial analyst, a corporate attorney, an interior designer, and LA County Sheriff. Back in 2000, I was getting ready to close an $8.6 billion deal as a lead attorney. And if you looked at me from the outside, it looked like I had it all. I had the hot husband, the convertible Mercedes, the beach house. I was miserable. I was so unhappy. My job was great, but I hated it. And the day before the deal was supposed to close, my dad dropped dead. And he was a workaholic. I was my father's daughter. And I used that as a lesson to get that H out and quit. And I'm here today focusing on health and happiness, because it doesn't matter how big your bank account is. If you don't have your health, you're done. My dad would have done anything to buy one more day. So now I help executives and entrepreneurs basically design their dream life and their dream body so they can maximize their time here. And I love what I do.
Can you quickly tell them what made you change from what your boss told you when you got the word that your father had had?
Basically, it was, I was on the same train my dad was, and I saw how it ended. And I mean, it crashed, and there's 0 survivors. I had the ability to get off that train, and it took guts and courage. And my father-in-law looked at me when he found out that I quit, and he said, "Now what do I tell my friends you are?" And me, in my best 3-year-old voice, said, "Happy!" So, yeah, and it's
But your boss also said, what about the deal, right?
Oh yeah, my boss. I went in to tell him that my dad was dying and I had to leave, and he looked at me and he said, "What about the deal?" And I also used probably my 9-year-old voice that time and a couple fingers. Yeah, good. What about the deal?
Thank you. Reggie.
Read the question to me again? I was lost in her story. That's great.
Tell us a little bit about your business and your background and what you do.
My business is working with people and transforming their lives from chaos to order. My background started out as in the building industry. I'm one of 800 registered Division State Architect Building Inspectors, where I work with people doing the same type of emotional control and damage control. About 8 years ago, I woke up one day and the doctor, it was a big wake-up call, and I was told I was going to die within a few years. My body had swelled up to the point where I couldn't bend over and see my feet. And it was a big wake-up call. I had to straighten things out or I was going to die. And that's when I changed. And now I'm for the past 5 years, I've been working with an institution and building my skills with breakthrough and transformational work, determining what your values are and how to apply and link what's important to you to people around you and the businesses that you're doing and what your core values are. And through this process, I'm one of 3,000 people in the world that's involved with the Institute that we're considered trained facilitators. We do have another one here in the audience tonight. I'm basically a master builder and life architect coach. That's how I reference myself. I'm working on specializing in success leadership programs and developing people's skills and helping them change their perception and altering their reality with what's going on around them, and defining what the truth is and stop living in a lopsided perceptual world and thinking that everything's against them and just change their outcome.
Great.
So that's the core of it.
Okay, great. The next question is, could you give us 3 great tips to help entrepreneurs and business professionals to be successful in their business that you have found? Like in all the organizations that I belong to, you learn a lot. In attending Rainmaker Summit, I found out so many things that I thought I knew it all. So a lot of times, you think you are learning everything that you know, where you are now, but sometimes there's some new box top rules, and a lot of times that's why we have to stay together in communities that are looking for expansion as entrepreneurs. So what would you say would be 3 great tips to help an entrepreneur expand their business?
So I think the first and most important thing to do would be to have a mentor. I know that if somebody didn't say right out of the box, don't write a book, build a business, build a platform. And so I've always had a mentor, and so I can't say enough. The other piece of that is when you have a mentor, you automatically become part of the community. And there's, I would say being an entrepreneur is a spiritual adventure. Because, even when you're in a relationship, there's somebody else to blame, there's somebody else who's, whatever. And when you're doing your business, it's you and your inner dialogue, really. So having a mentoring community is really important. The second tip I would say is don't build your business as Walmart, planning on becoming Bloomingdale's. If you want to be Bloomingdale's, start out as Bloomingdale's. If you want to start out as Nordstrom's, be Nordstrom's. But get really clear on what your brand is and start at the beginning. I think a lot of people say, well, I'm going to do this, and then when I get more resources, or I get more this, or I get more that, then I'm going to attract this kind of client. today so that they want to work with you. And then the third piece of advice I would give is I said this earlier when we were here, before you guys came in, get shit done. There is nothing more heartbreaking to me than seeing people who have a dream and have this, it's like a being inside of you that wants to come out and, birth something and make an impact in the world, and then just talking about, well, when I get more time, or when I get more this, or I just first need a website. And, the truth is, like, if you have a purpose and you can articulate it, and you can send somebody an email and explain what it is that you do and how much it costs, and you can start building your dreams. So stop talking about what you wish and you want and start getting in action. Just one little thing. You're here. Give yourself an applause for that. Take what you learned and do something tomorrow that's in action of it.
Don't stay pregnant forever. Yeah, great.
My first bit of advice is hire the most expensive coach you cannot afford. It should make you feel like you're going to throw up. And I'm actually getting queasy saying that because I have 2 business coaches, and these 2 women are phenomenal. They both serve different purposes, and when I see that bill at the beginning of the month, I literally get nauseous. But they have saved me so much money in not making mistakes. They're guiding my business. Find these people, hang out with these people. I met Bill in June. Since that time, I have become a best-selling author, a motivational speaker, created an online program that there are over 30 people participating in right now. And that was because I met Bill, I grabbed his hand, and he can't shake me. I mean, it's just impossible. So find your centers of influence that are really going to get you where you want.
And you spoke at Harvard.
Oh, and I spoke at Harvard.
Okay.
In December. That was the most fabulous experience. Thank you, Bill. And then the other thing is focus. Focus, believe, and receive. Don't get it perfect. Just get it started. I wouldn't even have the first chapter of my book written yet if it had to be perfect. I mean, just get going, believe in yourself, and just do it. And entrepreneurship is hard. Of all my careers, even being in the streets of LA, hearing gunshots, entrepreneurship makes that look like child's play. So you got to believe in yourself and just go for it.
Well, my tips would be to mission, vision, and purpose. You got to find out what's most important to you and define what your mission is. And then you can create your vision, and then you can get on purpose and get in action doing stuff. With me, I want to thank Bill again because I met him about 4 or 5 months ago, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. I've got a program that's in the creation right now. Some websites, landing pages that are all in progress. Future speaking gigs that are starting to surface because of Bill. And so he's a great influence in my life as a mentor as well. Another tip would be to, as far as business is concerned, no matter what your challenges are, you need to really define what the values of your company are. The top 3, we start with that. Figure out what they are, and then define and link them to who your executives are and what their values are. Because if they're not congruent with each other, your company's vision is different from your CEO's vision. I would think that everybody would say that's probably pretty accurate. And if you don't link their values together, you can't get congruency with it. So everybody, and you do that on down the chain, to the food chain, all the way down to your common warehouse workers and things like that. Another tip I would give is to explore the possibility of breaking through these roadblocks and figuring out what those roadblocks are that are holding you back emotionally, and explore opening up and breaking through the challenges that are set there in front of you with just the emotional blocks through it, the fears, the shames, the guilt that you may have that you carry around with you from other areas of your life. I know from experience firsthand in doing this multiple times, having to start my life over several times because of economics, bankruptcy, divorce, suicide in the family. I've overcome all these challenges multiple times. They apply in both business and personal life. And our team gets together with you and we just define what's most important to you.
And I agree with all of you guys. It's very important to write your vision down, what you're doing to stay focused on your purpose, right? A lot of people think the vision board, like it was secret, it's just going to happen, but you do have to do the work. But there is power in actually putting it on the paper and start, doing your list and really doing it. It's biblical. It goes back to the Old Testament. It's nothing new. The vision board, secret made a lot of money. But you can make a lot of money too, but you have to start using the real principles and applying them and getting started. So, yeah.
Okay.
So this question, Chris, I'm going to ask you first. Could you give us one of the biggest challenges that you faced in your life or in your business that you would like to share?
Wow. I guess the biggest challenge in my life was walking away from law. I mean, that was huge for me. I'd been a lawyer for 7 years. I'd reached a great level, and to walk away from the money and the prestige and the challenge and all the smart people that I was surrounded with. But the biggest challenge in life right now is being an entrepreneur and really believing in yourself and something that you have to offer. And I got great advice early on, and it was basically get in your mind that there is no competition. Because if you think about it, unless we're selling the exact same widget for the same price, people are going to come to me because our personalities match. And we could be doing the exact same thing. Some people are going to be drawn to you, some are going to be drawn to me. It doesn't mean you're better or I'm worse. Just go out there with your gifts and give them out to the world, and you will have plenty of business. Just believe it and just go for it. Jump off that cliff.
Who would like to go? What's your
Sure,
biggest
what's
challenge?
my biggest challenge in my life that I've had?
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing I'm most proud of overcoming is, I got married when I was 22 to somebody I met when I was 19. I didn't even know how to pump gas. I mean, I just went from living with my dad to living with my husband. And we moved to Los Angeles from Chicago, and everything looked great with the 3 kids. I was like your soul sister, private schools, and I was just completely empty inside and felt like there was nothing that I could really do. My husband was a workaholic and I would say a narcissist. It didn't matter how many credit cards I had or what it looked like. I just felt pretty crappy. And what I was most ashamed about, honestly, was that I just didn't like being in my house so much that I didn't want to be around my kids. I just felt pretty crappy. So when I had that opportunity, that moment to decide that I was going to leave the marriage, because I just knew that there was something more for me, it was really scary. I had no job. I hadn't worked since before email was invented. I didn't know how to pay my bills. I used to stand on Oprah and be the poster child for don't let a guy, But, I'm a smart woman. I just didn't know any better. So overcoming that and raising my children, starting a business, getting out of debt, being able to pay for them to go to college, having a freaking retirement account. These are things that I never thought I could do. And so what's really important to me about that is that I finally learned that in order to create any of that, I had to fall deeply in love with myself first. And that the only one who turned their back on me was me. And so that's been a really big part of the work that I do, is that in order to find love, you have to love yourself, create a life that you love, and then find love, in that order.
Great.
Yes. On the personal side, I was 5 years old, my father committed suicide trying. And that carried shame and guilt throughout my life, which was the fueler of the many divorces that I went through and the economic bankruptcies and stuff. But I made it through all of that stuff without going to high school or college, and became one of the 800 people to ever pass the state exam in California for that building inspector license I have, and being one of 3,000 globally facilitators of the PowerTeam Int'l is what's helped me get here into this room right now. And that's a success story, and that's what we're here to talk about, is success. And every one of you has a success story. In fact, turn to the person left and right of you and say, you're a success. So, with that added, you know, everybody has their own story, and it doesn't really matter what the emotional level is, it's because that's what you're built to handle. And you need to get your stories out there because someone's waiting to hear from you. It's very important, and that's what we're here to do in humanity, just period, is to share our experiences with everybody that we come in contact with, because you never know. It'll take one person to change your life, and you can change their life too. And it took me, you know, the most of my life up till about 5 years ago, when I became a member of the PowerTeam Int'l, I couldn't face the challenges I was having. I've overcome all that and turned it into a business that's given me recognition for being a transformation coach to people all over the world. And I'd like to extend you guys to give and go out and help other people out as well. Find that business that you need.
Okay. But in closing, what word of wisdom would you leave in the audience today to the audience?
A word, one word?
One word.
One word of wisdom? That's really hard for me to have one word.
Maybe two.
Okay. I think that what's really important is that it's never too late. You're never too old, you're never too skinny, you're never too fat, you have too many kids, you have too much debt, you have too much this, it doesn't matter. You're never too much anything to start. So you get to reinvent your life starting the moment right now. So I would just say take that sort of passion and reinvent yourself into whatever you want to do.
You stole mine, so I'm gonna go on top of that, because I am turning 50 next week, and badassery has no age limit. You can do what you want, when you want to do it, so stop using age as an excuse, or money, or kids, or houses, or whatever. If you want it, you can get it. You just have to get through the fear and just do it.
Clarity. I think that's probably the most important thing of all, is just to get very, very, very clear on what it is you want to do, be, and have. Because without that, you're going to be stuck in a world of chaos and disorder, and you're going to constantly be running around like the squirrel cage. And that's true. If you don't start chunking out what's not important and moving the low priority things out of your way, and focusing on what the high priority things are, so you can focus on becoming who you're supposed to really be in this life, in this world. Clarity.
Thank you. I don't know about you guys, but we do this to let you know, as entrepreneurs, you have probably one of the hardest jobs on earth. Does anyone know the average number of hours an entrepreneur works a week?
Not 4.
I don't say 24. With Bill Walsh, that would be correct, because he does not sleep. Yeah, it's 16 hours. So that's a lot of time that you're working. And so you need to surround yourself with a community that you have a lot of naysayers telling you can't do stuff. How many of you have naysayers at home telling you you're crazy? Because we think a little different than normal people. And I know I empowered a community and built a community, and sometimes you need to have a coach, even though you may be everyone else's coach. And it took one of my mentors, Les Brown, to tell me, Shameen, you can go out and do what you're doing for someone else, you can do it for yourself and really help people and expand your business. And I just had to look like, God, so there's people that believe in you. And that's what we here at PowerTeam International, we believe in you. We know what you're going through, but we want to give you the secret sauce on how to get things done a lot faster, not make a lot of mistakes, because that's the problem. We go down the road, and how many of us get in that diamond lane, and if you have one person in your car, what are you gonna get? A violation, right? So if you put the experts and the community behind you, you can go a lot faster and get to that success that you want to get to. So that's what we want to really share with you tonight. We wanted to show you that there are people that have gotten successful, that have gone through a lot of challenges. And I mean, these are some serious challenges, and things that they overcame, that it's possible for you. It doesn't matter what's happening right now, you can change that. And you know, by having the right people on your team, the right information, and doing things in the proper order. Sequence is everything. You could do a lot of things right, but you do one thing out of order, it just mess you up. You spend a lot of time, and that's the most valuable asset you have. Money, we could replace it, but you can't replace your time. So we want to show you how to use your time, empower you to let you know there's other people. Talk to these individuals tonight, get their cards. They probably can help you in your business and growing it. And I just want to thank you guys for taking your time. So interesting. Thank you so much.